Hello everyone, Esther here, and today I want to show you something that I've been working on recently. So, I built an entire new dungeon in the game called the Sunless Citadel, which is based on the old Dungeons and Dragons 3.0 module of the same name. It's going to be one of the easier dungeons, one of the newbie ones, and not an actual newbie dungeon, but one of the easier dungeons, close to the ancient pyramid in difficulty. It has its own mini boss and a lot of cool stuff to see there. This character that I'm playing is an absolute newbie. I went through each of the newbie dungeons once and got absolutely garbage gear, so I did the first floor of the ancient pyramid and got something slightly less garbage, but my stats are still on the very low end, which is fine, I suppose, for this. So I used the money that I gained to buy a rune book and to hire a here, Akasha. She will help us draw aggro, but let's get to the dungeon. So there's a public moon gate here. We will go to you, and here we are on the map. This character that I am playing also, I started it yesterday, so I didn't really macro anything, I just went ahead and played and saw what would happen. I have a guild ring for my healing and anatomy, and here we have the entrance. The street blights are the little tree monsters. If you're unfamiliar with the lore of the Sunless Citadel, it's related to an evil druid and all the shenanigans that he gets to. In the olden days, this place was a fortress of a dragon cult. Calamity happened, and the dragon cult was sunken with the citadel. Now the citadel has been taken by goblins and kobolds, while the druid does his evil druid things on the second level. There's some stuff that I still need to do some fixing, like this door is going in the wrong direction, but I'm still learning how the map editing thing works, and it's not incredibly intuitive. Here we have a troll dragon priest. He's an enemy, it's slightly stronger, it has a passive regeneration ability. He says that he's regenerating and he gains some health back. It might help if we actually tell our bot to attack. And at this stage of the character, we are looking for any gear piece that might be an upgrade. When you're starting out, it's always important to get your resists as high as you can, because having low resists is what will get you killed. And if you are familiar with the tabletop module, a lot of the rooms will be familiar to you, and understand that a lot of you might have played this back when you were younger, 20 years ago or something, and it would be a nice trip down memory lane. So when you are in a new dungeon, it's always important to figure out where the anks are and to keep a path clear to it, because who knows what might happen. In here we just have a bunch of kobolds. They're not threatening at all, but things will pick up reasonably quickly. This was originally intended as an adventure for a party of 4 level 1 characters when the module was released, hence why the monsters are on the very low end. And that's important. I want to have content that newbie characters can do if they get bored of the 8 initial dungeons. But as you can see, as you go slightly deeper, things start to get a little bit more complicated, and you have to manage the pool, you have to manage the encounters, and we got an upgrade. Here we have Eustrasio, which is the leader of the kobolds. She is a sorcerer on the tabletop game, and so she has some abilities to do magic in here. I would really love to hit this. Oh, remember what I told you about the axe? You say it's very important. Let's rest here and hope we can get our gear back. It's very dark without the night side stuff, mostly because the kobolds see in the dark, so they don't have a reason to make this any brighter. Now let's get to Eustrasio. Oh shit. Throw some fire at us. We got a potion out of her. Nothing fancy, but it's a little kobold. This big room here is where most of the kobolds live. So let's go very slowly. Shirt. Look at how many are there. Let's back up and try to corner them here. There's a shaman. Turn off the nameplates. Fresh potion will take. What did we get? No good resists, so we don't care about it. Reptiles layer. Oh, that's very handy. Yeah, that's very good for us. If we see any reptiles, we will try to remember that we have this. There's this room to the other side. Let's go around it. There's a bunch of dirt and garbage on the floor because I figured that the kobolds and goblins would not be incredibly tidy with their rooms, so you have to maneuver around it. So the kobolds live down here. They are fighting the goblins that are up there, mostly because the goblins stole the dragon of their clan, which is a baby white dragon, which might do some damage to you, because I imagine that your cold resist will not be very impressive at this point in the game. But now there will be dragon to threaten us anymore. Here we have a bunch of giant rats, including a named one, which is slightly stronger, a Gutash. But it's still a rat, so there's only so much that they can do. We have no mercantile to deal with this. And here, a bunch of undead. Nothing that we care about. And this is fully integrated with the other systems in the game, so you'll find random traps, random treasures, you'll find pedestals for your thieving, and sometimes NPCs will send you here on a quest. It's just like any other regular dungeon in the game, but slightly easier than most of them, I would say, at least on the first floor. Here we have hobgoblins, which are leading the goblin assault. They're much stronger than the regular goblins, but they mostly do physical damage, which we have a good amount of mitigation for. Oh, I wanted to check the item. He stole the item, bastard. Let's finish the fight first. Let's take this, we can ID it. Yeah, ours has good resists, so we'll keep ours for now. We have more hobgoblins and a whole bunch more goblins here. My weapon has a code, which is really good when there's lots of weaker monsters here. Helps a lot soften them up. That's fencing, we don't care about that. One of the things that we changed for the current iteration of the game is that NPCs now train you up to 50 skill. So if you have the money starting out, you can just bump all of your stuff to 50, and you can get right into playing. Or as you progress through the newbie dungeons, you can spend your golden skills, and it saves so much time. Here we have a room of the commander of the goblins. So let's see how well we do here. We need to go slowly, so it's easy to get around. And there's an archmage there. It's supposed to be a goblin shaman, but it didn't have goblin shaman model handy and animated, so... Oh, we are being peppered by arrows. So you should be using the doors and corners to your advantage here to try to take more favorable fights. The twig blight models are also supposed to be much smaller, but it's hard to find good animated files for you. So you have to use your imagination. Let's grab this as well. We had a backpack here. Let's ID our stuff and see if we got any upgrades. Nope. So this was the first floor. It's very simple, mostly because it's designed for newer characters. But it's a good breath of fresh air. Hit this spell. So we come here, we go down the vines, and we go to the lower level. Here we have the twig blights and the skeletons, which are tending this garden here. Which goes into the theme of an evil druid doing their evil druid shenanigans. So there's a bunch of plants growing, a bunch of mushrooms, and it's underground. They don't have enough light to fully grow. But through the druidic magic of Belak, which is the name of the character, they can do an unnatural growth in here. We killed the bugbear, which in the module is some kind of underdark hunter. But he got nothing on good old Moru here. Let's see if we didn't miss any chests. So a lot of this floor, the sunken floor of the Sunless Citadel, has been fallen into disarray after centuries being underground. An elemental. Oh, it's a very strong elemental. Run. We do have an elemental slaying weapon. Now we only need to hit. $93 damage. Yeah, these layers are a gigantic thing for us. Given our reasonably low skill. Oh no. Oh, we got the heal. I have a refresh. Yeah, the damage on this guy is crazy for us. The loot, unfortunately, is not. So the lore behind the elementals being here is that the elementals eat those crystals, so they get to the rooms that have lots of them, and the arcs just don't have the goblins and kobolds just don't have a way of dealing with them. Here we have a pedestal for your quests. And we have the ink on the second floor. Let's go this way. Here is a place where the druid that controls this place keeps the goblins working and making the potions and herbicides. I don't know, the stuff that grows the plants for him. So they have a bunch of alchemy supplies here. That is 200. There's a dagger here. So we can go down and then move. Here the goblins are tending this little garden. Oh, there's that. I don't think we should take the elemental and the bugbear at the same time. Let's get our elemental killing sword. A double strike should do it. If I manage to hit. I really like how the mushrooms ended up looking like on this collapsed cave. This is a bugbear gardener, and they get really on the tabletop. They get really annoyed if you mess with the vines. Why are those wraiths being so strong? Here's an abandoned library. Now a couple of orc shamans are trying to figure out what to do with it. Let me open my window real quick. This is some foreshadowing for future content, but nothing nearly ready yet. Here we have a door that is incorrectly. And when you approach, you have a message saying that there's a diary on the table. And you can click it, and you get a nice piece of lore explaining the dungeon and what's going on in here. You can pause it and read it if you want, or you can play and see for yourself. There's a lot of references to the source material in here, and they were a really fun thing to code. I don't think that our character is quite ready to deal with the encounters that we have down here, but we'll try. There's a lot of the twig monsters up ahead. Tactics +7, lower attack. Not immediately useful for us. So we have nothing else to strengthen us here. Let's try our best here. Of course, when you are on a dungeon that is new to you, it's very important to go slow. You never know what's up ahead. Here is the fully collapsed fortress that became this cave. You can still see pieces of the old fortress. They are going 2 down, which might be concerning. I might aggro things that I am not interested in aggroing. The twigs have a bleed attack. But don't have a lot of health. Let's heal up. So originally on the tabletop game, the adventuring party gets sent here to figure out what happened to a group of adventurers that are exploring here. They are now being controlled by this tree called the Gutias tree. Oh, he cast Entangle, he paralyzed us. Then the toads teleported us right on top of them. Let's get the fuck out of here. Heal. Yeah, as I mentioned, this character might be a bit too weak to deal with this challenge at this point. We need to make sure that we take them one at a time. Here is one of the adventurers that is now being mind controlled by the Gutias tree down below, Sir Bradford. He wields a magical sword called the Shirt Splitter, which he can drop for us if we are lucky. No, now is not the time for fingers slipping. Unfortunately, we were not lucky. He drops a full set of royal armor and some random assorted loot. So we didn't get the drop we wanted out of this place, but that's fine. Let's hope our buddy is still alive. Oh, I have enemy of 1 active on this, which might explain why things were difficult. I panicked and hit the wrong button. So Coquette is the animal companion of the druid, Balak. So here we have Balak. And we have Sharwin and the tree. Yet too strong for us. So I will come back with a slightly less newbie character to do the Belak fight, just to showcase how it works. Don't think he can get to us here. Let's exit. This is my shapeshifter druid, which is one of the new archetypes of the game. I'll make a video explaining them won't say I'm a bit happier with the implementation. But she turns into a warg, which can run really fast. And she can turn into all sorts of different things. Take those things out. She is also a priest, so we can sanctify ourselves. Yeah, Belloq's not strong enough to deal with her, but he has quite a few interesting special attacks. Here we have the tree, which is this whole point of why Belloq came here. And when you hit the tree, it summons the twig blights. We kill the mage here. If we kill the tree, the spike growth hurts and applies a bleed. So when you kill the tree, what happens is that Belloq loses control of the twig blights and they start fighting him. And if Sharon and Bradford are alive, they immediately die because the tree was what was keeping them in one place, in one piece. Belloq has a chance of dropping a Masterwork Sicko, which is like a better version of this one. And assorted gear pieces. So this was pretty much it for this place. I know it's short and it's it looks very easy, and it kinda is, especially if you are mildly geared. But this is designed for newer players to have something to do. And with that character that I started like only yesterday, I managed to get quite deep, just didn't have enough resist to deal with the special attacks from the boss. He can entangle you, he does a spike growth which paralyzes and does poison, he has a poison explosion, and he can summon toads to help him in battle. It's a lot of fun, honestly, especially if you grab like 2 or 3 newbie buddies together. You can have a really good time in here. There are a few other little things to this dungeon, but I will leave you to discover it. If you want to test it right now, you can join us at the community server. The link will be in the description. And if you want to follow the development of my fork, which is called Ephalon, you can go check my GitHub. I post there very often. And look how cool it is. You can play a druid that becomes a bear. And once you learn a few more skills, you can, if I had poisoning, I would be able to be a giant scorpion or a spider, and there are all sorts of cool forms that you can play with. And that will be it for today. This is Mirkala, my druid, and earlier I was playing with Moru, my newbie, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you come visit someday. See you again soon. Bye bye.